I'm trying to get up. I don't understand. My nervous system is shaking like a leaf inside. I've got a headache. I'm so exhausted. I don't understand how people are supposed to survive. Everything hurts. Seven years since this injury started. 7 years of literal torture, literal human torture. I don't know why, but all of my teeth hurt like they're gonna fall out. All of them. Everything hurts. My head hurts. It's so discouraging trying, I haven't gotten out of bed yet, and it's just so discouraging. I'm exhausted beyond comprehension. I don't know, how do you keep going? You don't want to disappoint people. And you don't want to be known for giving up. And your hope just keeps you going and going and going. I read a quote from a famous writer hundreds of years ago that said this exact thing, and that is that your hope can be the thing that keeps you suffering, because you keep hoping that things will change. So you hang in there and you keep suffering. You keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Are you courageous? Or are you stupid? Your hope can keep you delusional, Your hope can keep you delusional. Your faith that things will get better. You can be totally delusional. But sometimes being delusional like that can keep you hanging in there until things do get better. But what if things don't get better? What if things don't get better? It's your hope that kept you suffering. It's like walking off of a war zone. Me waking up every day is like walking off of a war zone. I'm so exhausted. I'm physically beaten. I'm mentally beaten. I'm spiritually beaten. I'm so traumatized. I'm in a state of shock. But it's not just the injury that started 7 years ago. Uh, Man, like, 30 years ago, I'm sitting in my car in the parking lot at work. Yes, I'm young and I'm 1,000% exhausted, and I'm sitting in my car. I'm late for work, and I'm just sitting there thinking, there's something so wrong with me that I'm exhausted. It's like I've just walked off of the field of a war zone. Like, what is wrong with me? I really do fear that it's it's the Chiari, and I will never get help. It feels like, my spine and my arms and legs, there's terrible things going on. Yesterday before bed, I'm sitting there, in the living room in a chair, looking at my phone, and just these spine symptoms and arms and, the weak arms and legs. Just, it's so terrifying to have some things escalating and not, you know, but not having a family or support is just unbelievable. Like, spiritually, it's unbelievable to not have real support. That's what's really, I can barely breathe without, like, it's just unbelievable. Your spouse is gone and you have no family, you have no support. It's unbelievable. Like, some of us are here just out of sheer strength and nothing more. Just will and strength. And just pushing so hard, moving forward, trying to survive, and unbelievable. Like, if people really understood, so many people would not have survived this long. My head hurts so bad. And my day hasn't even begun. My insides are shaking. My whole entire nervous system. I'm so sleep deprived. I have more sleep than usual, but, like 4.5 hours. Each time I exhale, it's like my whole, it's like I'm never going to take another breath in. Like, just the exhaustion is unbelievable. I don't know. Do we all just hope for a miracle? What are the chances that, we're all just gonna just recover. Boom. What are the chances of that? Honestly, I never knew really that suffering like this existed. I guess we all, maybe we think that there's relief, and I guess the relief would be drugs if you could tolerate them. But I never knew that there are people who are really sick and they can't tolerate drugs for whatever reason. I never knew that. I had no clue. I don't know. It's so bizarre. It's just, oh, I don't know. God. And what would it be like, really? Like, really, when you think about it? If I had people living in this house, if I had family living in this house, what would that be like? If I was suffering to this degree and I had family in the house or a spouse, what would that be like? Would they be tolerant of this kind of suffering? Like, people get worn out, right? They suffer with us, or they reject us, or they're resentful, or you know what I mean? How many people can truly understand, like, living with you, and it's a burden carrying suffering with somebody else. My husband, when he was suffering from depression, and he wanted off those medications, and he was suffering so bad. I'm not suffering from depression, but oh my God, was it hard. And I supported him and supported him, and it was so hard. But depression is a different beast than physical illness too. You know, it was so hard because other people weren't supporting him. Like, it was so hard trying to give somebody hope and faith every day, trying to give them hope when they had no hope. When if you've suffered from depression, and I have, you're living in darkness, and it's so hard to get to tell somebody that there's hope when you have none, you know? But yeah, that depression is completely different than this, than physical suffering. I'm not saying it's worse. I'm not saying this is, because that's a whole different beast. I don't know, God. I don't know. How do you live like this without quality of life and isolated? How do you keep going year after year? How do you do this?